商市场策略的运筹帷幄和各国赛车产业的崛起。记者吴一荣、欧俊杰在珠海的采访报道。
一日千里的科技发展，瞬息万变的全球经济，关键时刻、关键问题，请来核心人物为您解答。从智慧型手机、电视，一直到家电、联网，已经成为一种几乎必备的新趋势。中国大陆更是由政府主导大推智慧电网。到底在新的网络时代，人类生活会有什么样的变化？网络未来又会如何发展？今天我们关键对话呢，为您邀请到的是名列富比士杂志票选全球前100位最有影响力的女性，思科全球策略长马斯利。
网络与人类生活越来越紧密的结合，不仅是电话 ，Hello。包括平板和手机也统统紧密的结合在一起，而我们今天就非常荣幸专访到了网络设备大厂思科全球策略长 Padma 女士。她不仅是全球前100位最有影响力的女性，而且也是思科的关键核心人物。我们今天就要一起来聊聊对于网络世界未来的想象。Hello, Padma.
Hello.
The first question we want to ask is that as a leading company in the IT and the network market, how do you see the development of the networking market?
One of the things that we see happening in technology is IT itself is changing. We believe at Cisco that the IT industry in the next 3 years or so will be very different from how we have seen it in the past. And that's primarily driven by 5 major technology transitions or technology trends. One is the rise of mobile. All of us have a mobile device today. We use it for everything, and that's really going to change the IT industry. The second is what is known in the industry as cloud computing, in how we actually, applications are getting created and how they are delivered. And the third is the rise of new kinds of applications. All of us have apps on our devices, and you can kind of extend that into the business world. And the fourth is the rise of data and the use of data and analytics. And the fifth trend is the Internet of Things, where devices will start talking to devices or communicating with devices. So in this landscape, IT industry of the future is going to look very different from how it had looked so far. And the network is the foundation of this change.
And we know that there are more and more devices connected with the internet, like TV, even for the refrigerator, like they say, electricity. And how do you see this kind of device will change the human life in the future?
Yeah, so today we estimate there are roughly about 12 billion devices or so connected to the internet. And we think by the year 2020, so in about 7 years, there will be 50 billion devices. So 50 billion devices will connect to the network. So in the future, you can think about energy grid being very much more efficient, driven by the IP networks. And so one of the things that we talk about is the evolution of smart grid, or how energy gets produced and distributed to us in our homes will be much more efficient. At the same time, we can think about traffic lights that will have sensors, and so when we are driving, we'll be able to drive in less congested areas because we'll be able to manage traffic patterns better, and actually it'll create a safer driving environment because our cars will be smarter and our cars will be able to communicate directly with the traffic lights and the traffic systems. So there'll be lots of these kinds of applications that will touch every part of our life in the future.
What's your strategy?
So Cisco's strategy is to really take advantage of this shift to the Internet of Everything. We call it the 4th phase of the Internet. You know, if you think about the Internet, roughly, 20 years or so we've had the Internet. The first phase of the Internet was about the connectivity. So Cisco played a role there in enabling that connectivity. A lot of the applications tended to be applications like email, right, in the first phase. The second phase of the Internet was more about business transactions, and e-commerce was created in the second phase, and again, Cisco played a huge role in enabling that transition. And the third phase of the Internet, which is probably the last 5 years or so, is all about social and interactions, the rise of social media and how people form relationships online. And we played a big role in that as well. The next 10 years will be about what we call the digitization of society, or the rise of the Internet of Everything. So in the Internet of Everything, our strategy is to connect people, process, data, and things using the network as a platform to do that.
And we also know that there are a lot of competitors getting really aggressive into the market, especially for the China market. So how do you see this competition?
The competition is always there, and we respect our competition, but Cisco is always focused, we focus our strategy on what we call market transitions. We are the only company that, at the scale that we serve, we are able to catch market transitions much more quickly than our competitors. We are a very innovative company. There are different areas in which we innovate, both by investing a lot in our own engineering efforts inside the company. We also acquire companies fairly aggressively. We're a company that looks at talent anywhere, and we bring in the talent into the company when we feel we have a gap. We also partner on a global basis. We have many strong partners here in the China market and in the greater China market, and we rely on our partners to innovate with us. And then we spend a lot of effort integrating all of this. So our approach to innovation is very different from many other companies in the industry.
And how do you see the IT market in Asia and also in America and Europe? Because we know the Europe, the crisis is still there. So how do you see? What's your insight?
I think the IT market, there is a big trend going on, which is global in the developed markets as well as emerging markets, and actually across all geographies. And that trend is the spend in IT is shifting from a CIO to a line of business. So actually, in a way, IT, there will be people spending money in IT, but that budget may not come from the CIO, whereas traditionally it had been the IT budget was with the CIO. So this is a transition that we are very focused on. The differences, however, between Asia and Europe and America will be in how solutions get created. Many of the examples in the Internet of Everything are actually getting driven out of Asia. Smart grid, for example, is very important in the China market because energy is such an important resource. And so that's getting driven more aggressively, I would say, out of Asia and Europe, and less so in the U.S. In the U.S., Internet of Things and Internet of Everything tends to be much more of a consumer application, more transformation in the retail and so forth. So I think from a broad perspective, one of the common trends that I see across all of the regions is the shift of IT spending from the CIO to a business. The second thing in terms of Internet of Everything, each region prioritizes a different market. However, we see growth across all of the markets.
And as a successful female leader in a global company, and we know that Forbes select you as one of the 100 world's most influential women in the world. How do you see your success?
I think my success I attribute to two things. Firstly, hard work and being able to get results is very important, whether you're a man or a woman in the industry. I think the tech industry changes so quickly. It's being able to keep up with the pace of change and anticipating that change and adjusting the course that a company is on to take advantage of that is extremely important. The second is being able to hire great talent. And I think I attribute my success to the people I work with. And Cisco has great talent worldwide. And I feel very lucky to be working with some of the best engineers, some of the best sales leaders in the world at Cisco.
We know that you are not only a successful leader, you are also a mother. And how many children do you have?
I have one son. He just turned 20. He's in college.
How do you balance your family and your work?
For me, what is really important is being able to spend time, not equal amount of time, but spend time on your career and at your work, but also with your family. And the other two areas I really believe in being able to give my contributions to is my community and myself. I'm an artist. I like to paint on weekends. On Saturday, I spend time painting. I'm also a poet. I like to write poetry. So I think I do things that I feel are necessary to recharge my creativity, and being able to do that is extremely important. And my family is very important to me, and they're very supportive of everything that I do. My job is very stressful because I'm dealing with a lot of different technologies, I set strategy for a very large technology company. So sometimes I need to step back from the day-to-day issues and focus on the future. And when I paint, I sort of allow my mind to look at things in a different perspective. So if I take a break and I paint on Saturday and I come back to an issue on Sunday, I'm able to look at it from a different point of view. That sometimes offers you a different answer, which you may not have thought about. So for me, it's painting. For other people, it might be exercise or music or sports. I think all of us as human beings need something that drives our creativity.
Thank you, Padma. 网络时代越来越先进，未来不只是手机、平板、电视，甚至是家电，通通都可以联网沟通。而面对一个新的联网时代，不仅你我的生活将会大不同，台湾的供应商将会有更多的商机。
先休息一下，再回到我们的开讲现场。
现在买 EcoNavi 空调就送节能。